Hello healers and health seekers, it's me, Ichota, healing with medical medium information for 4 years now. I have been healing so many symptoms and conditions: mast cell activation disorder, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, POTS, dysautonomia, SIBO, hypothyroid, fibromyalgia, migraines, and a whole host of other symptoms and conditions. I have done a great amount of healing. I used to be in a wheelchair. I was severely debilitated and non-functional, like really non-functional. I had zero energy. I could not walk. I had to use a wheelchair to leave my house. I had to wear a mask to leave my house. Even in my own car, I could not deal with even really being outside of my house because I was allergic to the world. I would get severe like flushing, itching, rashes, brain fog, migraines, so much pain. I lived with like 20 years plus of chronic pain in my back and shoulders and neck. And my list of symptoms and conditions goes on and on and on. Honestly, it does. I made a video that was 3 videos long about symptoms and conditions that I've healed and that are healing or have seen some healing. And it was over 115 symptoms and conditions. And I was like, whoa. I did not know the number was even that high. But when I wrote everything down and I realized like what was a symptom, because there were so many things that I just thought, oh, this is just how my body works. But no, it turned out that was a symptom, and my body wasn't supposed to be doing that. But so many things have healed, and I am so incredibly grateful for the medical medium information and everything that I have learned over the years. And I am grateful for, things like anxiety and PTSD and depression, and so things that people don't even consider physical symptoms and stuff like that have healed. And I'm so incredibly grateful for having found the medical medium information. I am not affiliated with medical medium at all. I am just a person who is on my own healing journey, who found this information after searching through countless doctors and practitioners and chiropractors and naturopaths and acupuncturists and massage therapists and functional medical specialists and all kinds of things. I searched for years for answers and could not find any, and I finally found them, how to heal in the medical medium information. And I'm just grateful, and I am documenting my healing journey on my YouTube channel. And if you want to know more about like the extensiveness of my journey and stuff like that, there's links in the description box below this video that can take you to further information. I have a blog. I didn't start video documenting my journey until about 18 months in because I really wasn't able to, but I documented my healing and my chronic illness on my blog before that. So there's lots of that stuff below. But today I have an itch to talk about something that has been on my heart lately, that has been in my craw. You guys, I really want to talk about the trolls. I want to talk about the trolls that have infiltrated the medical medium community and that try to get in the way of our healing. I go back and forth as to whether or not to talk about this because I don't want to give attention to things that don't deserve it and you just want them to shut up and go away. But I also, in a way, think it's important to shine a light on those things that can take you out of your healing. And since medical medium himself has talked about these things, I'm going to talk about them too. I want to talk about the fact, and I want you guys to know, in case you don't know, I think it's really important for people to know that medical medium has talked about this. There is nothing out there on the internet about him that is true. Nothing. Except for what's on his blog and his Facebook page. Everything else, misinformation, disinformation, twisted. Everything. If you have seen somebody write a post about some story that makes you go, oh, what? I never knew that. Yeah, you did, because it's not true. It's not true. There are people who are literally paid to write these things, to write posts, to write slanderous stuff, to infiltrate the medical medium community and pretend that they're in the community and talk about him and say, oh, this is why I turned away from him, or all some kind of whatever. And every so often, one of these trolls will message me and say, oh, can I just share these articles with you about like why I stopped following him and why I think his information is not true and all this stuff. And I'm like, no, you cannot share these articles with me. I'm not interested. And I will say to them, hey, did you know that there are actually people who are trying to infiltrate the community and pretend that they're members of the community, and they get paid for turning people against him? And I want everybody to know that if somebody approaches you saying, oh, I heard this awful thing, and oh my gosh, and there was this article, or this person posted this thing about this horrible thing that happened to this other person, neither of those things are true. And I want you to know that I know this for a fact. I know this. With all of my heart, I know this. Anthony has talked about this. There are some people who are absolutely being paid per post. They get paid more if they do a video, coming out and saying why they don't follow medical medium anymore. And the bigger the story, and they get paid more if they knew him or had any kind of contact with him. And look, it is fine. We all have free will. It is fine if anybody doesn't want to follow the medical medium information and use it. More power to you. I wish you the best on your healing journey. I honestly, absolutely do. I hope you find what you're looking for. I hope you find ultimate health and healing, and I support you. That's wonderful. Whatever you want to do, everybody, we all have free will. But here's what's not okay, and here's what's predatory. When you come into a community where people are struggling and suffering and hurting, where people have seen doctor after doctor, have had symptom after symptom, have had so much pain and so much chronic illness, and you don't understand how much they're suffering. And these people have found answers, and they are trying so hard to just get through the day and do their best and find healing. They have finally found an answer. And you want to disrupt that? You want to come in and you want to say to somebody, oh, let me just send you this article and tell you about how bad this person is. And it infuriates me. It infuriates me. And Medical Medium has been talking lately about the bullying. He has been talking about people who are trolls, who come into this community and to prey on other people, who come into this community to try to sell their products to other people, or maybe they actually did use the medical medium information and they got their healing, but they hadn't been the ones who really struggled and suffered. They hadn't been to tens and 20s of doctors and hundreds of doctors and suffered for years and years and years. They just got a little bit sick and then they found their healing, and they didn't know what it's like to struggle and suffer. And then they find a product that they want to sell and they think, ooh, I can sell this to the medical medium community. I can sell this to them. And they come in and they want to make money off of us. Listen, no, it's not okay, because people don't deserve to be preyed upon because they have found answers, or because they are looking for answers, or because they are struggling and suffering. Pendleton hears that I'm upset and he comes to comfort me. He's like, Mom, it's okay. It's okay. I know, it is okay, Pendleton. It's okay. I'm okay, I mean. But I'm mad. I'm really angry about it. And one of these fools, again today, somebody, oh, can I just share this article with you? Can I tell you? Pretending to be interested in their own healing, pretended to actually care about my story and care about what happened to me. Nope, did not care about what happened to me, was being paid to try to sway me away and try to sway me in seeing how like terrible medical medium it is. Because you know what? The more these people get, the better their commission, because they get paid the more people they approach, and they get in people's DMs and they get in people's inboxes and try to cast doubt. And if they can hook somebody, then they can get them and be like, ooh, you can be paid to make a post about how you're turning on medical medium. Look, if you actually were in the community ever, and you actually were using medical medium information, and you want to go do something else, free will. Again, more power to you. But if you're somebody who's posing as somebody, or you just got you got your healing and you're like, screw that, let me go make my money now. Let me try to see how much money I can make. Yeah, I'll make a post about turning on medical medium. I got my healing, whatever. How incredibly selfish are you? How incredibly greedy and predatory and horrible are you that you would stand in the way of somebody else's healing? That you would stand in the way of somebody else's healing so that you can get paid? Because your pocketbook is more important than somebody's health? What is wrong with you? Like, what is wrong with people who do this? That is what I think about it. What is wrong with somebody that they would, how wounded are you? How greedy are you? How taken over by darkness are you? That you think it is okay to come into a vulnerable community of people who are struggling and suffering, and just to get through the day is a freaking heroic accomplishment sometimes. And you would see dollar signs in your eyes when you think about those people. Ooh, I can sell them my water machines. Ooh, I can sell them my multi-level marketing schemes. Ooh, I can sell them my whatever. It's not okay. It's not okay. It's predatory and it's disgusting. And it needs to stop. Stop it. Stop it. These people, the chronically ill, the forgotten, the bullied, it is not okay to come in. And I just want you guys to know, I want you, my healers and health seekers, my friends, my community, I want people to understand that yes, there really are people who are putting false information all over the internet about medical medium. Like he said, none of the information out there on the internet about him is true. None of it. And he can't change it because he's not the one who's controlling what gets put out there. And you gotta know that there is huge censorship all over the internet. And those industries that want him down are in cahoots with the people who control the internet. So there's so much censorship that goes on. There is so much censorship across all the platforms, all the social media platforms. His account gets shadow banned. His account gets so many people coming at and attacking him, and the trolls will try so many different tactics. Death by 1,000 cuts. They will try so many different tactics to go at him, including infiltrating the community and coming to us individually. They see us following him, they look at who's following him, and they go, ooh, that's who I need to target. I need to target those people. And they look for somebody that's vulnerable. They go, ooh, Ichota had a gallbladder surgery. I bet she's wavering. I bet she thinks the information might not work. We can get her. Y'all are wrong. If you do watch my videos like you pretend to, then you will know that that is the opposite of true. I know this information works because I would be dead without it. I know I would. Twice now, medical medium information has literally saved my life. And when I say literally, I don't mean it in the I'm literally dead kind of sense. No, I mean the actual definition of literally, which is the fact is I would have died if I didn't find this information, and I would have died if I didn't have this information to help me get through and just lose my gallbladder and then survive and make it through after the surgery and heal. Don't you dare. Just because somebody is struggling with a symptom or a condition, even while they're healing, does not mean the information isn't working. If you actually knew the information and you actually followed it like you pretend to, you would know that is not the case at all. You would understand what's really happening inside of our bodies, the things that we get exposed to and how they affect us. And you would understand that it is working. It just takes time, because for my lifetime, for 44 years before I found the medical medium information, I was exposed to so many pathogens and so many toxins and so much stuff, and so many symptoms and conditions developed, and my liver was not given a fair shot because I never knew the truth about what would really support my liver or my body or anything else before, despite literally decades of research and trying to learn. So yeah, I'm a little bit infuriated because how dare you? How dare you come at me or any of my people, any of my friends, any members of this community, because those are my people. And I am fiercely, fiercely, fiercely protective of this community. And I am fiercely, fiercely, fiercely protective of Medical Medium and his information. And no, I am not affiliated with him in any way. Not even a little bit. I feel honored that I found the books and was able to heal. And I feel honored that I have had the support of this community, because this community has uplifted me and helped me stay on track and helped me stay on the path. And I wanted to start making my videos because I wanted to show people that you can still heal, and it does take time, and that's okay. And maybe it takes less for somebody. There are people who healed so much quicker than me, and that's great too. They didn't have as much exposure to toxins and pathogens. If I do a history and timeline, now that I know what I know about exposure to toxins and pathogens and how that works, just the ones that I'm aware of, I came into this earth with a jaundiced liver. That's baby liver. That means I already was loaded up with toxins and pathogens. My liver was at max capacity. That's what a jaundiced liver means. Medical Medium has talked about that. And he talks about it extensively in Liver Rescue, in case you want to look it up for yourself, which you should. Don't take my word for it. Learn the information yourself. That's important. It's really important. It helps your healing. It helps you understand why you're doing the things you're doing, why you're following the protocols, why you're using this information, and it helps keep you on track. That's what has kept me on track all these years, is learning more and more and more, and deepening my understanding, and going over and rereading every single book, and rereading every blog post and the podcasts and all of it, and listening to everything over and over again, just soaking it in constantly. And I'm not saying anybody has to do it to the degree that I do it. I'm just an enthusiast. It's what I do. I'm immersive. When I am interested in something, I become immersive. And I'm interested in my health. And I'm interested in my healing. And it is the most important thing in the world to me, besides my son. But yeah, I came into this world with jaundice, with baby liver. So I was already compromised coming into this world. And then it just never stopped after that. When I even think about that, I'm like, how am I alive? How did my body survive? Our bodies are miracles that it could survive all of that. That it could keep working and keep me alive. And I almost wasn't. By the time I was 44, I almost wasn't still alive. I was very close, I think, to leaving this planet. I was completely non-functional. This information literally saved my life. I'm not kidding you when I say this. I've said it over and over again in every video. I say it almost all the time. I was allergic to the world. I couldn't leave my house. I had no gas in my tank. I had no energy whatsoever. I couldn't walk. I couldn't stand up for more than 5 minutes. I had been in excruciating pain for I had had back pain for 20 plus years. Back and neck pain, shoulder pain. I had so many diagnoses. I thought I was becoming a collector. I was like, this is crazy how many diagnoses. Every time I went to a new doctor, I'd get a new diagnosis. I could have had more. I could have had more. I could have gotten Lyme. I probably could have gotten MS. I for sure could have gotten lupus. I could have got, I mean, all of these things because I've looked it up. I've done the research and I'm like, yeah, if I had gone to the Lyme doctor, I would have gotten Lyme. If I had gone to certain other specialists, I would have gotten lupus as a diagnosis. I mean, my body was just falling apart. It was a mess. This medical medium information saved my life. So you'll understand, you'll forgive me if I am fiercely protective of him and the information and this community because these people are my people. The medical medium community are my people. These are people who have been struggling and suffering and had symptoms and chronic illness and doctors and doctors and doctors and practitioners of all kinds who have said, I don't know how to help you. And I can tell my own story about that, but it's the same story. It's the same story that echoes across the whole community, which is I went to doctors, practitioners, naturopaths, functional medical specialists, acupuncturists, any kind of practitioner you can think of, and none of them knew what the cause of my illness was or how to heal it. They would have ideas or thoughts or like throwing darts at a dartboard basically, but nothing made any long-term difference. That is the collective story we all have. And all of us have broken trust. And that is a big deal because we had trust in doctors. We had trust in practitioners. That's why we paid so much money to these people, and that's why we went to these people. And over and over again, our trust got broken. Our trust got broken. Our trust got broken. So to have people come into this community of broken trust, of people who have had their trust broken and over, people who are finally starting to rebuild that trust, and to have these people come in and be like, oh, you can trust me, like this is all a farce, this is all wrong, this is your, like, ooh, let me get in your ear and cause doubt and try to have you doubt your healing path. Like there's not enough obstacles in our way. Like there's not enough obstacles for people who are trying to heal themselves. Like we don't get bullied enough. Like there's not enough people out there being like, that can't happen and that's not science and whatever. Are you kidding me? You're gonna come in here of all the people in the world and prey on these people? It's not okay to take advantage of already vulnerable people. It's not okay to try. It's not okay to stand in the way of somebody else's healing. It's not okay to try to hook somebody for your own gain because you care more about your pocketbook than their healing. And I had to talk about it today. I had to talk about it because it infuriated me. Look, whatever. People can come do that to me. They can. I'm not inviting it and I'm not saying it's okay, but I know I am so solid in this information and I have been learning it and practicing it for 4 years. I have made connections with people in the medical medium community who are also solid in it. Nothing is going to sway me from my own healing, okay? Nothing is going to, no article on the internet are you kidding me? With all there's so much fake out there on the internet. Do you think I'm going to believe some stupid article? Do you think I don't know about people lying on the internet? Do you think I just believe every single little thing? No, are you freaking kidding me? But some people do, okay? Some people are hanging on by a thread and they don't know what to believe because their trust has been so battered and beaten up. Look, I have spent the past 4 years healing that broken trust and building my faith. But there are people here who are new, and there are people here who are just starting to heal, and there are people here who are vulnerable. And it's not okay. It's not okay to take advantage of that. It's not okay to try to cast doubt into their hearts when they're already on the right track. I just want you to know, if somebody approaches you talking about like, oh, I heard this article and oh, let me show you this, and they want to do some gossip and show you this sensationalistic information, They don't have your best interest at heart. They're not trying to help you heal, okay? They may very well be getting paid to do that. They might just be interested in lining their pocketbooks. If somebody's trying to sell you a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 water machine, it's a scam. Don't buy it. And I'm talking about those counter ones. I'm not talking about the whole house filters, because Medical Medium has said, like, if you can get a whole house filter that filters your water, that's great, but look for the good ones and do your research on the companies. He doesn't have any on his directory that he has recommended. He does recommend the Berkey filter for water, which is an inexpensive filter if you compare it to the prices of other water filters out there. So your water doesn't have to be turned on for it to work. You can get well water, you can get river water, whatever. There are other ways I have seen the trolls try to infiltrate the medical medium community and try to take advantage of people. And I want to tell you those as well. One of them is Medical Medium just talked about this on a live. There have been people, and I've seen this before too, I've seen people say it happened and I wasn't sure it really happened. But there have been people who pose as Medical Medium, like they set up a fake account and they call themselves Medical Medium and they start DMing with people and messaging them, and then they ask for money and they say, oh, I'll do a consultation with you if you pay me blah, blah, blah. Medical Medium does not, and he made this very clear in the live, he does not do consultations. He will not DM people and ask them for money ever. That is not his MO. That is not what he does. That is not him. It is some faker, some troll, trying to take advantage of people, trying to take money. And he said actually he's taking legal action on that one, so you know that's a big deal. Okay, another thing that I have seen, people claiming, like even people who used to be in this community or said they were, who uses information to heal, I have seen people claiming that he no longer talks to Spirit of Compassion and that they do now. That he lost all his powers and now they're the ones talking to Spirit of Compassion. And I've seen that happen more than once. And I don't know if it's always the same person or if it's different people who are making that claim. First of all, ridiculous. Secondly, he's a person that Spirit talks to, Spirit of Compassion. He has told his story enough times that it's out there. It's in the first book. Talks about who Spirit of Compassion is. So that is just, I had to say that because please don't fall for it. If somebody tells you they're the ones talking to Spirit of Compassion, and he has said before, Spirit of Compassion only talks to him in this lifetime and there's not other people. And the Spirit didn't suddenly stop talking to him after literally training him for his entire life to do what he does now and then go off and start talking to somebody else, okay? Please don't fall for that. And honestly, the other thing I want to say is people calling themselves medical medium practitioners. There are no medical medium practitioners. Medical Medium has never trained anyone. He has never had a school or classes or anything like that. Nobody is his right-hand man. He doesn't have a right-hand man. There isn't anybody who's like just as good as him with the information. There isn't anybody who knows the information like he does. You want to know why? Because all of us are human and none of us have Spirit in our ear 24/7 telling us exactly what people need. Yes, people are intuitive, and yes, there are people who were practitioners already or are some other kind of practitioner, and they incorporate his information into their practice, and that's great. That's what he wants. He wants people to use the information to help other people heal. That's wonderful. It's great when people do that, but there isn't, I am aware that there are people in the community that hold themselves up and say, oh, like we're, you know, like they're just, like they're up there with him as far as knowing the information. And yeah, there are a lot of people who know the information really well, for sure. You know, those of us who have read the books and it's been very thorough and have been in the community for years. And I'm not saying that those practitioners aren't great practitioners, but what I am saying is that there are no medical medium practitioners. That's it. There aren't any. There can't be. He's never trained anybody. He's never had a school. He's never had a certification program or anything like that. So there can't be medical medium practitioners. There can only be practitioners who use his information to inform their practice and to inform their work with their patients or their clients. That's it. I mean, I've made that mistake too. I'm sure in past videos I've made that mistake saying something like that, medical medium practitioners, but there just aren't any. But there definitely are people who can coach and help you get started with the information and help people along their healing journeys and offer emotional support, and definitely can use the information to inform their practice. That's totally valid. I just wanted to make that distinction because I have seen people get really, really hurt by thinking that people calling themselves medical medium practitioners actually had the same level of information, like some secret in, or knew as much as he did about people individually. And I have seen people get really bad information from those practitioners. And thank goodness those people knew the difference, and they learned it over time, and they learned it a really hard way, and it was a very expensive lesson. But they figured out, like, it's not the information that's bad, it's these practitioners giving bad advice. So again, I don't want to freak people out and make you think, like, don't ever consult a practitioner, because that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying know the difference and use your discernment and really understand that they're human too, and they can make errors and they can make mistakes and they don't know everything. And that's okay, because that's what humans are. Like, we do make errors. And the best thing to do is to really, really try to tune into your own intuition and to check your own intuition on that. Another troll tactic that I've seen is bullying. I've seen trolls bully and say, oh, you won't let me speak my truth. You know, if they approach someone in the community and that someone says, well, this isn't the information as he delivers it or whatever. Or if they say, well, this other information isn't accurate, and then they'll go, well, you're not letting me speak my truth and stuff like that. And they kind of shout them down. And because so many of us really, like, we want to see the good in people and we want to believe that people are good, and it's hard because it's like, then you end up getting bullied. Another troll tactic, another way people get in and infiltrate and troll the community is by posting comments about how, oh, I did the information and it didn't work. And they do that all the time, where they'll have some sob story and they'll say, oh, it just didn't work, and this is why, I know it just doesn't work, or whatever. But you have to understand that when people make that claim, it's not that 100% of the time they're lying. It's just that it's a really easy way to instill doubt in people's minds, is to say that. And it's also, you don't know how much of the information they were actually doing, if they actually took out all the no foods, if they were eating the healing foods, what else they were eating, what else they were exposed to. You know, it's one of those statements that you really can't take at face value. I actually did a whole video about that statement because a friend of mine who I knew said that to me after they pretended to try celery juice, not even for a week. They didn't even drink the celery juice. They maybe had it once or twice. They didn't do any of the other things. They didn't read the book. I made the mistake of trying to help them by giving them sort of a Cliff's Notes version of kind of a, like, this is how you get started, because they swore they were going to read the book. They swore they were going to read the book. I lent them my copy of the book. They never read the book. They never did anything, and they were like, oh, I tried it. It didn't work for me. And I was like, no. To be fair, you did not actually try it. You didn't even drink celery juice for a whole week, and you didn't do any of the other things. You cannot make the claim that you tried it and you didn't work. You can say, I didn't want to do it, and I couldn't be bothered, because that was an accurate statement, but you cannot say that you tried it and it didn't work, because you did not try it. So that's just like a wild example of the illustration of what people can mean when they say they tried it and it didn't work. It's like, you can't blame somebody for something not working when you actually didn't even do it. I find it really frustrating to see people make those claims and to see that thing happen, because it can deter somebody who's on the fence. And I don't want to see people be deterred by misinformation and not truth. It's like, it really is the kind of thing where you just have to learn the information for yourself. You have to do it for yourself, and then you need to try it for yourself. And don't if you're going to take somebody's word for it, take the word of the people who are actually healing, because they are doing the information. They really are doing it. And how do you know? Because they're healing. That's how it works. Because once you understand how the body works and how to heal, it's like that's half the battle. As Medical Medium says, that's half the battle, is knowing. And once you know, then you know why you're doing the information. It's not like about doing a diet and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm getting a little off track. I really just want to talk about the trolls. There are so many ways. My point is, there's so many ways that trolls troll the community. And if you can be savvy to those, that's even more empowering. And you can just filter it out, like all the noise, like all the other noise that's out there. Just filter it out and be like, whatever. I just needed to share that. I needed to share it because it's on my heart, and I needed to share it because I don't want any of you to be deterred from healing by somebody's hearsay and their own twisted stories. I can't say that I don't want you to be influenced by what I'm telling you, because that'd be a lie, because what I want is for people to heal, and what I want is for people to have the truth. And it's in the Medical Medium information. And you don't have to listen to me. Like, everybody has free will, and I support free will. But I don't support greed, and I don't support predatory behavior, and I don't support bullying. I don't support somebody coming to me and telling me that my healing is invalid. And I don't support somebody coming to any of you and telling you your healing is invalid, or it's wrong, or it should look a different way than it looks. That's bullying, and that's not okay. And I don't support people trying to use this community to line their own pocketbooks, because that's not okay either. And it's one thing if somebody is offering a service or their time or something like that, and they genuinely at heart have the best of intentions to help people heal. Intention is really important. Intent matters, and you can kind of start to tell, like, is somebody's intention to use this community to sell their product, or is their intention to heal and to share that healing? You start to feel it. You start to be able to tell and discern with people. But it does take time, because there are people who seem to have the best of intentions, and they kind of actually don't. Like, you can sort of see, like, they're just promoting their product or their whatever all the time. And it's tricky, man. Social media makes things so much less cut and dry, but I want people to be able to heal, and I want them to have a safe place to do it. Medical Medium works so freaking hard to try to keep his community a safe place. But you can't control who follows you on social media, and you can't control who makes claims about you on social media and on the internet, and you can't control things like that. It's just, people are going to say what they're going to say. So the best you can do is be like, hey, these people are being paid to say this. I mean, and that's a fact. The industries have a lot of money, and they do a lot of things behind the scenes. I mean, if any of you are truthers and you know that there is a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that gets heavily, heavily funded to sway people's opinions, to engineer social conditioning, and they want to push a certain narrative. And this is no different. This is no different than any of those other things that are heavily, heavily funded to push a certain narrative. And the industries, if they're losing money because of Medical Medium, because people are actually healing, they don't want to lose money. So they're going to do everything they can to try to discredit him and us, the people who are actually healing. They'll do what they can to discredit us, and they'll pay people to make up stories, and there's always going to be somebody who's willing to take that cheddar who wants that money more than they care about people's healing. And that's sad and it sucks, but it's true. You deserve to heal. We all deserve to heal. We don't deserve to be interfered with or bullied or preyed upon. We deserve to heal, and we deserve freedom and sovereignty. That's what I want for us. Enough is enough. And I'm tired of these people. I'm tired of these people. They're time wasters. Because trolls come in different forms. Some of them are just time wasters. Some of them honestly are just there to waste your time because, hey, they know you're going to answer all their questions and try to help them out as much as you can because you want them to heal. But you can start to see over time who is a time waster too. And it's unfortunate because some people, you know, it's like you really want them to heal, but then other times you're like, they don't really want to heal. And I have found over the years that the most important thing to do is just direct people back to the information. If they want it, they're gonna look it up. If they want to know and they want to heal, they're gonna look up the information, they're gonna learn it themselves because it's gonna be that important to them. But if they're just asking you to answer all their questions all the time and they're not bothering to actually try to look up anything themselves, I've learned that a lot of times they don't actually really do any of it. And that, I love answering questions for people. That's the thing, is I love answering questions for people. I love helping people. I love anything I can do, you know, just to help support people on their healing path. Like, I want to do it. I do. I want to do it. I want to help. But I've learned that if I answer somebody's questions all the time and they're not looking up stuff for themselves and they're not finding the information for themselves, I'm not really doing them a service. That was a hard lesson. But sometimes it takes time to figure out where that line is too, because you're like, oh, I'm just helping. But then you realize, like, this is stuff they could really look up really easily if they actually have the books. Why do they keep asking me when they could look this up? You know, it's, you start to see it. But anyway, thank you. If you watched this video all the way, thank you so much. And I hope that your week is going well and that you are somehow magically not affected by all of the retrograde stuff that's happening, and that you're able to keep a light heart. Find the way to keep a light heart as best you can, even if it's making a video so that you can rant all your rant, and that actually makes you feel better, because by the end of this ranting, I'm actually feeling a little better about things. I'm an external processor. Sometimes I just need to get it out, and then it's out and I'm done, and it feels good. Makes me feel better and it lifts my load. I hope that that didn't transfer this load onto anyone else, but I appreciate you all so much. I really do. And I really wish you the best, and I hope that you're all doing well. And just let me know how you're doing in the comments, because I love hearing from you and it makes me feel connected to you, and I love that. So stay curious, my healers and health seekers. I love you. I wish you so many blessings on your continued healing journey, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.